Welcome to the Big Assembly. For the next 30 minutes, we'll be streaming live across the UK in the biggest careers webinar ever. It's an attempt to create a Guinness World Record and demonstrate just a handful of the opportunities you could discover. You'll learn from those who have followed their dreams to enable them to be in a career they want, and learn about the different opportunities you can discover. So if you're still in school, you've left looking for a new direction, or you're a teacher, parent, employer, whoever you are, this webinar is for you. And don't forget, by staying tuned in, you could be randomly selected to win some amazing prizes.
Hi, welcome to the Big Assembly. Over the next 30 minutes, you're going to get the opportunity to hear from parents, from apprentices, from employers and from teachers. You will also get the chance to hear from a young guy, Liam Jackson, who is an apprentice himself. And Liam is taking responsibility for guiding you through the next 30 minutes of this webinar. You'll get to see some fantastic videos, all of which have been produced by Rob, a BBC apprentice. He's done an amazing job, and I'm sure you'll be applauding him at the end of this session. Also, this is a Guinness Book of World Records attempt for the largest ever apprenticeship and careers seminar, and you're all part of this, so it's a fantastic opportunity and something that you'll be able to talk about for years. Just to tell you how important this is, there's a guy called Robert Halfon. He's the Minister for Apprenticeships and Skills, and he's so excited about this that he's agreed to welcome you after me. So thank you again for joining us. Have a fantastic half an hour with us. Remember to ask questions through Twitter, through Facebook and through email, and we'll be answering them as you send them in. Liam has a crew behind him who will be working on getting all of the answers to your questions. So enjoy.
This is a very special event today. We could be breaking the Guinness Book of Records, the biggest ever apprentice seminar webinar in the world. So I'm going to be logging on, and some of you will be logging on, get your friends to log in and as well tell them about the wonderful career options that an apprenticeship means. It transforms lives. 90% of apprentices get jobs afterwards, they get higher pay, you earn while you learn. Climb up that ladder of opportunity. Go and get an apprenticeship today.
Good morning everyone, students, parents, teachers and anybody else that's listening today. Welcome to the Big Assembly, the largest webinar ever to deliver careers advice to people at the same time. I'm Liam Jackson, a former administration apprentice and a current projects manager on a business management apprenticeship. I'm here to guide you through today's careers webinar and answer questions along the way. We will cover loads this morning, like student misconceptions about apprenticeships, how to find apprenticeships, what employers look for in candidates, and lots more. You'll be introduced to an array of people, all giving you really valuable information. Make sure you ask questions along the way using the feed at the bottom of your screen, or you can use Twitter, use #TheBigAssembly, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. Don't be shy, we are here to inform you of things as much as possible. So we also have some fantastic prizes that support students and schools in giving that essential career support. I'm going to be drawing those as we go through the webinar. So we have 3 to start off with. Our first prize draw is the CEO experience, shadowing the CEO at Magna Park. You will learn how business is done there. The winner for that is Rockinson College. Well done, you'll be sent further details in an email after today. Our second prize is a boots experience at an office in Nottingham, finding out the process behind launching a new product. Our winner for that is Tibshell School. Well done, you'll be sent more details in an email following this webinar today. Our third prize is another CEO experience, but as well as shadowing them, you also get to be a CEO for the day. This is with Nottinghamshire City Council, and the winner for that is the George Spencer Academy. Well done, again you'll be sent further details after today. So, without further ado, let's start meeting some apprentices and finding out what they thought apprenticeships were when they were at school. We have project management apprentices, engineers, construction, business admin, and even a pharmaceutical advisor. Please remember that these apprentices' individual experiences are their own, and just because something wasn't right for them, it doesn't mean it won't be right for you. So listen up, take all the information you can from it, and start to make your own informed decisions.
Thank you.
When you was at school, what did you think an apprenticeship was?
I guess I had this kind of idea, maybe quite narrow-mindedly, that it was all your handiwork, your bricklaying and your electrician and those kind of things, but I didn't really think it would be something as to a career like Highways England.
I knew little bits, but not a lot. I didn't know, for example, there were a lot of... I didn't realise how many there were, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't know there was a good website. When I found the good website, it was quite staggering to find out how many apprenticeships are actually out there, and I don't think enough people know about them.
I didn't know there were so many different varieties of apprenticeships. I thought it was just going to be business or office jobs, really.
During my time at school, the school pushed all the GCSE results, A-level results. There was nothing about apprentices, no advertisement, no sort of push towards that.
For example, my sixth form push you to go to uni, but I didn't want to do it, so I had to go out there myself and find them, and when I realised how many there were, I was quite shocked.
They did a bit on apprenticeships. They mainly focused on university, so I did have to do quite a bit of research myself to get into this course.
They did sort of focus on getting people to go to college once they finished school, but it was there, but yeah, it wasn't enforced as much as, say, the academic route.
Which is a massive shame, as I think if I was advertised at a younger age, I would have joined an apprenticeship at a far younger age than I have.
If schools did know a bit more about apprenticeships, then they'd definitely be able to help a little bit more.
Well, there was so many university fairs. Like, loads of universities would come in and give all the different talks of what their universities do and the courses that they do and why come to our university.
I did a stint at university. I came back, as it wasn't for me, as I'm sure it's not for a lot of people. I know I'm in a team with 9 apprentices and 3 of them have been to uni and came out before they got their degree.
An apprenticeship seemed a really good way to sort of go into learning how to work at the same time as leaving school. It was a really good transition point.
I know it sounds like straightforward, but I just wanted to Google search apprenticeships, and the Gov website stood out to me. I found it straight away.
Talk to people who've maybe been through apprenticeships and really find your own way.
At the end of the day, you want to be doing something every day that you enjoy doing. So have a look what you enjoy at school and then have a look what's out there.
There was lots to take from that. I think the best thing you can take away from it is how important it is to do your research. Uni is no longer the only way to get to the top tier of any career sector, especially with more higher and degree level apprenticeships becoming available. Apprentices are really excelling like never before. So it's time to take our first question. A parent has asked us, what exactly is an apprenticeship? So our definition of apprenticeships are having a job and getting a recognised job-relevant qualification at the same time. An apprentice develops essential skills while working and earning a real salary. The next question we've got is from a student, and they've said, where do I find an apprenticeship? It's very simple. You go onto Google, not right now, but maybe later, and type in find an apprenticeship. Here you can go, and all colleges and training providers list their vacancies on there, and we'll email you a link following the webinar. There is also another really good website you can check called Get My First Job, and they list a lot of vacancies and support you into getting an apprenticeship. For those wondering what qualifications you need, low GCSE should be enough to get onto an intermediate apprenticeship. High GCSE should be enough for an advanced apprenticeship like a level 4 or 5 or a C in maths and English. For a higher or degree level apprenticeship, you will need a level 3 qualification, which you can get through an advanced apprenticeship or through your A-levels, so you could do that after sixth form. It's prize draw time again. Our fourth prize is 3 separate school trips for up to 16 students each at Toyota, great for aspiring mechanics. Our winning schools for that are... we have Benrose School, the Lancaster School, and Wolverley CE Secondary School. Well done, you'll all be sent more details after the webinar today. So now you're going to meet the apprentices again, but this time they're going to be discussing their career stories. Listen out to them great benefits to doing apprenticeships.
I was really sort of herded into college, so I went into college and then I went to uni as well.
Yeah.
And I found it wasn't for me. So I think when I left university after just one semester, I got a job. I was a carer. It was a really good job, and it was going nowhere really. I wasn't getting any pay rises. I wasn't getting any promotions. I found that I needed to do something with my life, and an apprenticeship was the best opportunity because it didn't mean sacrificing pay. It meant learning whilst I was working as well. So my mum was really pleased because she thought I was wasting my life a bit, wasting my potential with my previous job. So she was really happy with that.
I was fed up of doing the 9 till 5 jobs and not really getting anywhere. I was a receptionist before and didn't really enjoy it. I went from job to job. I've got 2 young boys as well, so I wanted to show them that that an apprenticeship can be good. I'm 31 now, so that wasn't around then. So we didn't really know. You could find out about some job fairs and stuff like that, but I was young and didn't really go to these. I'm a hands-on kind of girl that likes to get lucky and do things like that, so no, university is not for me. And I don't think that there's nothing I couldn't gain from this that I could have gained from uni anyway, so yeah, I'm happy with my choice. Yeah. We had to do like a maths and English like test, if you like. We had to build a wall unit, play with some Lego just to show you like team building skills and stuff. Yeah, it was a really long process. But yeah, I got chosen. So.
It was quite difficult leaving school as I hadn't been in full-time work before, so I wasn't sure where I did want to go. So I had to do quite a lot of research, but this apprenticeship scheme seemed to really suit what I wanted to do. I found the scheme on Boots Jobs website, so I was having a look to see if there was anything available. It was mainly as a part-time job that I looked, but when I saw an apprenticeship was available, it seemed perfect. I do think that even though this is an apprenticeship, it's opened more doors sort of in university as well, so I think you can do an apprenticeship and then go on to do a degree and then like go back to work after that, so it has opened more doors for me in that way. Yeah, I've got many friends who are at university who went straight from school. Yeah, I definitely think that we're in very different situations, because I do think that working full-time has made me mature in ways that maybe they haven't, because they're still studying in almost a school environment, which is a bit different.
It's brilliant to see why young people choose apprenticeships and why it was a good choice for them. I think you could sense the fulfilment they had in what they do and that they really feel that they're making progress in their careers. Emily from Boots made some great comparisons to university. A real positive change I have seen working in schools over the last few months is the improvement of teachers' understanding of apprenticeships. If you do have any questions after today, if you're a student or a parent or a teacher, speak to your school's careers advisor to find out more. Support is available for schools and careers advisors in the form of the Apprenticeship Support and Knowledge in Schools project if they need it. More information will be sent out after this webinar to those schools that might require it. 2 more prize draws. So our next prize draw is for 2 schools to win a presentation from a business called Young Professionals. Students are sure to find it very useful and inspiring. The 2 winners for that are Kings Heath Boys School and Nepplewell School. And our next prize is the 6th and potentially the most glamorous prize is for 1 student and a friend to attend the East Midlands Chamber annual dinner. They could make really good connections here that might benefit through their career. The winner for that is a student from the William Allett School. Well done, you'll be sent more details after the webinar today. So, the next person you're going to meet is a head teacher. He really believes that in apprenticeships and promotes them strongly at the Bolsover Academy. Here he is.
Each school's down to their own. Each school has to look at their own demographics. They have to look at their own local marketplace and you know, the situation of the individual students they've got. I think it's incredibly naive of any head teacher to ignore apprenticeships very much. I think it's all the more important that if we're still to produce the calibre of employee that we want in years to come, that are not going to be able to go down the university route, apprenticeships are absolutely up there as the way forward. I can remember apprenticeships being around when I was a lad. I grew up in a northern steel town, and I have to say all of the apprenticeships then were associated with jobs in the steelworks. That's not the case now. There are apprenticeships in every single field. So we're not just talking about the old stereotypical traditional heavy industries, although absolutely they still exist, and rightly so. But we're talking now about apprenticeships being in every field you can find possible, combining that balance of work experience, practical skills, let's be realistic, and income as well. First of all, I think it's very important from my own perspective. You know, I went through the university route, and times change, times move on, and it was very important that I wasn't giving advice based on my own experience of 30 plus years ago when times have changed. I think it's particularly pertinent for our school though. The prospect of going to university is very daunting, and the prospect of embarking upon a university course with all of the associated financial implications of that is extremely daunting, and I do genuinely feel my colleagues would support me in the fact that puts an awful lot of our students off. Their parents haven't trodden that route before them, or not many of them have, so it's not as if there's people there able to offer advice of the benefits it might bring. And it can very easily just be a case of them thinking, well, I'm not going to university, I'll get a job. An apprenticeship is an absolutely perfect pitch right there in the middle. The opportunity to develop them from an educational perspective, the ability to enhance their skills further, but the opportunity to give them an income and practical work experience on the journey as well. I'm going back to that point I made again where if they've done an apprenticeship, they actually can graduate eventually, but with a far greater proportion of practical work experience skills. Now, as an employer, with another hat on here, if I was to be looking at two people, they've got the equivalent qualifications to each other, but one has got a vast abundance of experience, that's the one I'm going to be looking at. So I think it enables them to compete absolutely up there with the traditional university route.
How informative was that? Some great insights on why schools should advise students on apprenticeships. The importance and impact of apprenticeships was really highlighted there, as well as the importance of strengthening a CV with relevant work experience. I have another question from a student here. What to do if a school hasn't supported you in knowing about apprenticeships? There are lots of places you can check online, like the Get In Go Far website, and find an apprenticeship as well as get my first job. Parents and students will find these really useful. You can also get in touch with colleges and training providers who can give you all the information you will need. Teachers and careers advisors can get support from the Apprenticeship Support and Knowledge Project, which they will be sent more details on after today. Our next prize draw for this part is for a school to have a student workshop at Nottingham City Homes, where they will learn about different construction trades, so really good for people that aspire to be in that career sector. The winner for this is Crown Hills Community School. Well done, you'll be sent more details after the webinar today. So, now you will meet Alec and Lisa from Nottingham City Homes. Alec is an apprentice and he's got the opportunity to interview his manager, and what he's going to do is he's going to try and find out what employers look for in candidates. So if you're thinking about applying for apprenticeships, listen up, there's going to be some really good tips in here on what employers are looking for.
What if you're in young people's position now, just finishing school, what do you think you would be looking to do?
To be fair, I think I would be looking for an apprenticeship. Now I know about them. I didn't know about them when I was at school, so I didn't take that career path, but I think they're a really good way of learning about the role and making some money and getting a qualification at the same time without getting into any debt, which is always a bonus. So I would definitely take on an apprenticeship route, but there's so many to choose from. It would be the world's your oyster, really. You could go into any avenue. So it would, don't know what I'd do apprenticeship-wise, but I'd definitely take on an apprenticeship.
So you said you've changed your recruitment process. What are you now looking for in apprentices?
Okay, so we're looking that the apprentice has the basic maths and English skills, that they would that they've got the level that we need them to be able to correspond and write letters and that sort of thing. But we're also looking that they're able to work as part of a team and that they can also use their own initiative. They're just basic one-to-ones or team working sessions, but they really do highlight who is really good at team working and who isn't, and that's beneficial to who we select as an apprentice, because going forward they need those skills in the workplace. So that's what we look for now.
So after we've done our apprenticeship, what are the prospects for us going forward? As do many go on to do management courses and go up to be managers, or?
Okay. So if you are successful and get a permanent position with the company, we will continue throughout your employment to give you opportunities to progress in whichever area of the business that you would like to go into. One of those is management, and we do this by offering opportunities to go on to higher apprenticeships and degree level apprenticeships as well. So they're now available. So for example, we had a young person that was with us on a work experience placement who then progressed onto being an apprenticeship with us. Finished his apprenticeship, became a full-time operative in electrical. Then he progressed on to do a management qualification. Then he progressed on to do a HNC, and now he's doing his surveyorship. So he's taken on a surveyor qualification.
And he started from just
and he started from a work experience process.
So he's been through the whole lot, basically.
Yeah. So we'll support whatever, whichever direction you come into our company, whichever route you decide to take, we'll support you to do whatever you need to progress and give you those opportunities.
That was so useful to students looking to apply for apprenticeships. I hope you listened carefully and got lots of ideas that might support applications. Understanding what skills an employer values could be your key to a successful application and getting an interview. We're getting absolutely loads of questions at the moment, so keep them coming. We are trying to answer them as quickly as we can. And we have heard that there's a few schools that have put this up in the main assembly hall. So if you have, try and get us some pictures in on Twitter using #BigAssembly. We'd love to see everybody taking part. So I've got two more prize draws now. Prize draw number 8 is an interview skills masterclass provided by the East Midlands Housing Group. That's for up to 50 students. The school winning this fabulous prize is Eckington School. Well done, everyone. Our next prize, prize number 9, is the opportunity for a student to shadow an award-winning apprentice for the day at Walter Smith Butchers. The winner for this is a student from the Holly Hall Academy. Well done, you'll be sent more details after the webinar today. So, just a reminder for those wanting to find apprenticeships after today, all you need to do is search Find an Apprenticeship on a search engine and it will be within the top few that come up. Go on there and you should be able to find most of the vacancies that are available at the moment. And remember, it's never too early to apply. Some colleges and training providers will be recruiting right now for September. Have a look at all the different career sectors you can do an apprenticeship in. Have a look at the entry requirements and see what GCSEs and things like that you need. Try and spot something that you'd be interested in. In this next bit, we're going to have a look at the different career sectors that you can do an apprenticeship in. See if you can find something that would interest you. I'm sure I could if I was a student again. That was an example of some of the great careers you can get into through apprenticeships. Don't be put off if you didn't see exactly what you wanted to. Make sure you do your research, as there are thousands more things out there, and we definitely didn't cover everything. That was just a taster. So do your research and find out if there's something for you. I started my career as a business administration apprentice at a college. Just 3 years on, I'm a projects manager with line management responsibilities, and I'm doing a degree-level business management apprenticeship. So that really proves that if you are willing to put in the effort and take on the challenges that your employer gives you, you can progress very quickly from an apprenticeship. Also, I've just been passed a note to say that Robert Halfon, the Minister for Apprenticeships and Skills, is logged in. So that's great that he's taking part today, and I'd like to thank him for his participation. Prize draw number 10 is for a school student work experience. It's for 30 students at a power station and engineering academy with Unipi UK. The winner of that is Our Lady and St John Catholic College in Blackburn. Well done to you. You will be sent further information after today. So, speaking of Unipi UK, they feature in our next clip. Meet David and Annie, a parent and their child, an apprentice. Listen out for top tips to help you with conversations about apprenticeships with parents or guardians. Annie is on a degree apprenticeship, and if anyone's familiar with The Simpsons, I'm sure you'll recognise the scene that they're sat in.
Right, Annie, welcome to my world. What do you think about this?
Don't ask me a question like that. What am I to reply?
Right, Annie, welcome to my world.
So, what's all this then?
This is a unit... Oh, this isn't a unit of it. Don't ask me that. Right, Annie, look at this. This is my world.
Very different to the factories where I work.
Yeah, so how are you enjoying your apprenticeship?
Yeah, it's great. So I'm 6 months in now. Really enjoying it. It's completely different to what I imagined. Like seeing a food factory like in action is really interesting. I'm so glad that I got the place on the course. It is hard doing the university side, doing a degree and doing an apprenticeship at the same time, but if I was just stuck in a classroom at uni, that I'd never be able to see all the different machinery in the factory and get involved in all the different swabbing and the audits.
So tell me about some of the benefits. So, you know, when we spoke about apprenticeships, when you were looking and you were sort of 16 and thinking about what's the right solution for you, tell me about, you know, why do you think now it was the right choice?
Well, when we were talking about it, I applied for Derby University, didn't I, to do the human biology course at Derby, and I got a place. But there was something that I wanted to look into doing an apprenticeship scheme, because you promoted them so much. I'm glad that I did do the apprenticeship scheme now, because I have so many friends that are at university. Of course they're paying for their fees, like coming out with all the debt, but they haven't got the hands-on experience which I've got. I'm already in the workplace as it is, so getting known and all the experience there. And yeah, it would be an experience going to university, and I have a lot of friends that do have a wonderful time, but like the fee of having an experience, and it's expensive experience. I have so many friends now that have gone, oh, I'm so jealous, I wish I was doing like my degree through an apprenticeship scheme, because there's such a variety. There's so many different apprenticeship schemes that you can do rather than going to uni. Like if you find a uni degree, more or less there's an apprenticeship scheme for it already.
Absolutely. And of course you get the experience, you're getting the money, you haven't got the student debt at university, but you're still going to university and coming out with a degree. So it's sort of win-win, isn't it?
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely recommend it. It is intimidating at first, because I think being 16, an apprenticeship scheme, it gives you the like job title, and you think like, oh, do I really want to go and be a part of the technical team for like a food company like Tulip? But when you look in like the degrees behind it and work out and read all about it and whatever, and it is something that you are interested in, then it is great.
Fantastic.
So what would you do now if you were starting at my age? Would you go back to how you did it at university, or?
No, I would absolutely go for an apprenticeship. There's no doubt about it. I think it's the future. I really do. I think that when you look at students who go to university or go through an apprenticeship, there's so much evidence now that says apprenticeships are the right route, and there's so many frameworks now as well. So the world is your oyster really, as far as the number of frameworks that are out there, that you can be anything. It's not limited to sort of technician roles. You can come out and you could almost be an airline pilot, I'm sure, with a framework today.
Like I have two brothers, and one of them's really into architecture, and although Ollie's only 13, like he's really into that and he really wants to do that, but there's already an apprenticeship scheme that we found that he can do. But by the time he gets 16 in 3 years time, there's the police force ones that are coming out, and then Max, my other brother, he's really interested in doing the aeronautical side, and there's an apprenticeship scheme for that as well. So why would you go to uni and pay for all of that when you can have a company that gives you experience, pays for your uni fees, and helps you along the way with a salary?
Absolutely.
That was really helpful and great to hear from a hire apprentice too. I'm sure Annie will go really far in her job. It's now time for our last prize draw, a senior management experience for one lucky student at Green King, learning how to manage multiple locations and see how they recruit apprentices. The winner for that is Davison CE High School for girls. Well done, you'll be sent more information after today. So we've just had a question in asking, is there an age limit on, and how old do you have to be to do apprenticeships? So you have to be at least 16, but you can apply before you're 16 in preparation for when you are. And there is no upper age limit as well. And even where I work, we interview people of all ages for apprenticeships. So you're never too old to do it, and you have to be 16. That's all the time that we have questions for today. But if we are going to keep the feed open, so if your question hasn't been answered yet, stay on the live feed and we will continue answering those questions if you're desperate to find out. And we will also put them on the website for people too to refer to. Okay, right everyone, that is it from me today. A massive thank you to all of our listeners and everyone that has made this possible. I hope you have found it useful and informative. It's certainly been a pleasure for me. If you do have any more time for another clip will be coming on in a minute to summarise the event and recap some of those great benefits to doing apprenticeships. There's lots of things coming in on Twitter now, so keep them photos coming, that's great to see. I've had an amazing time. Thank you very much for participating and enjoy the rest of your day.
really do hope you've enjoyed the last 30 minutes as much as I have. And as chair of the East Midlands Apprentice Ambassador Network, I'd really like to thank everybody that has supported this project to get us to where we are today, to this webinar. It's been absolutely a fantastic achievement. And remember, the website www.bigassembly.org is open, and if you have any other questions that you want to send in for answers to how you can take your career forward as an apprentice, then please don't hesitate to send them in.
Apprenticeships are work and study at the same time, and that study can be anything up to degree level, exactly the same qualification as what you'd get at university. It's important to remember that with an apprenticeship you also get a salary, and those salaries can go all the way up to 25,000 with some of the bigger businesses.
I decided to take an apprenticeship instead of the traditional route of going to university because I thought it would offer me work experience and also offer me a degree at the same time.
You're earning, working, learning, and you're gaining a lot of experience as well. And that's one thing that attracted me, especially from a young age.
For me, I always knew I wanted to earn and learn at the same time. I had a part-time job when I was studying for my A-levels, and I always knew that I worked better in the workplace rather than sat down in a classroom.
I've been working for the company for 5 years. I started with them as an apprentice, and originally when I started, the company had never taken apprentices on before, and the idea was that I would get a degree, and then once I'd had my degree I'd do my financial qualifications. When I first started, it became clear that that wasn't going to be the route that I took, and I did all my finance qualifications within 2 years. So they decided to excel my career path with the company, and now I manage the apprentices.
The benefits of working for Rolls-Royce as a hire apprenticeship is that I got to buy my own house at the age of 21. I also got to develop my work experience and develop my contacts around the company at such a young age, and I didn't get into university debts. I know some of my friends have gone to university for 4 years and they've had to pay back something like £38,000 for the 4 years, so I'm very glad I did a hire apprenticeship because I don't have any debt at all.
Yeah, it's beneficial working in a team of varying ages and experiences. It widens your knowledge of not just your own job, but how a business works internally and how you work with clients.
I feel personally that I wouldn't have got the grades that I got. I also don't think that I would be the person I am today if I hadn't have had the team around me whilst I did my degree. I hope to instill that in my apprentices and give them the opportunity to be the best that they can be, and also to move up the apprenticeship ladder all the way up to level 6, level 7 if they wish to. As a company, we'll support them through whatever they need.
There are a huge range of apprenticeships available, so if you have a career in mind, it's really worth doing your research to see if you can get into that job as an apprentice. There are some massive businesses that take on apprentices, such as Barclays Bank, ITV, BBC, Lloyds Bank, and thousands of other smaller to medium-sized businesses.
Porterbrook likes to employ higher engineering apprentices. We find that while they're with us doing their training, doing their degree education, they're also gaining experience of the workforce. It gives them a better grounding and a better understanding of what they're actually learning at college as well. So, and then once they've actually graduated, they have all that practical knowledge that then they can quickly apply to the business.
Most apprenticeships what you see in IT, they're kind of, you're sat in front of a desk, you just work in front of a computer.
Whereas myself, I'm more hands-on, so I will go out to other sites and businesses. We do door access control, CCTV, networking, so we do a bit of everything really.
I really enjoy the hands-on practical elements. I love going out on site and watching the actual engineering happen rather than behind a desk.
So there's lots of different ways that you can look for apprenticeships. Some of the ways are looking on university websites to see what kind of qualifications they offer, looking on employers' sites to see what opportunities are available, and searching various places on the website, including training providers and job sites. One of the main areas is Find an Apprenticeship. That's a national government website where all jobs are listed, all apprenticeships, and there you can apply for jobs, do your research, and set alerts for any job opportunities that you might have missed.
It was by chance that I got an email off my careers advisor. I hadn't really heard of apprenticeships very much and I didn't really know what they were about, so I looked into Rolls-Royce more and that was it really.
Employers are really looking for someone that stands out, so you've got to make sure you show a lot of interest, you've got to do your research, and you've got to be ready to work hard, and you really want to show them that enthusiasm and eagerness to succeed in that job opportunity.
I enjoy working in the professional team, especially coming from school into a professional environment. It was very difficult to adjust, but I think you just have to be mature and still be yourself, still be enthusiastic about the job role, because that's what they want to see. They want to see that new person coming with fresh ideas. So be yourself, but also be professional.
I suppose people always say an apprenticeship is what you make of it. So the more that you put in, the more effort that you make, and the more you sort of put yourself out there, you meet more people, you learn different things, you start to pick up more opportunities in the business. And that's the approach that I've decided to take, and I've got a lot from it.